Hello. Hi, Enda.
Hi, back again.
Back again. How are you? All good?
Fantastic. That was
Good.
good.
Yeah, it was a really nice conversation. Yeah, I'm super excited to kind of have this session more about Bob, and I can see we've already got some people joining, so hopefully we'll get some really cool questions that we can discuss. I'm just going to sort this out. So bear with me. We'll just wait a few minutes for people to join us. Yeah, bear with me.
No problem.
There we go. Yeah, I think we've got a few people here. Whereabouts are you based, Ender, out of interest?
Based in Barcelona, Spain.
Oh, amazing. I've been to Barcelona.
Yeah, it's.
What's the weather like at the moment
Do you really want to know where are you based?
in London?
Yeah, it's probably a few degrees warmer. It's blue skies today, probably around 12, 14 degrees Celsius, something like that. So
Oh,
can't complain.
lovely. It's quite cold in the UK at the moment. It's like 3 degrees. It's a bit cloudy, a bit drizzly today. So yeah, I'm envious of you.
Typical day. I've got a notification on
Yeah.
the screen to say, please join a breakout found in the sessions area at the left of your screen. I'm in the right
Yeah,
place,
that
right?
you are in the right place. Yeah, that just pops up automatically to
Okay,
everyone
cool.
as a notification. So yeah, we're all good. Yeah, I see we've got a few more people joining now, which is great. So are you ready to get started?
I'm all set.
Okay, amazing. So yeah, thank you so much for joining, Enda. So for people who have joined, this is obviously a breakout discussion with ShipBob. So please put any questions that you have in the comments. Feel free to share your screen and get involved, and obviously talk over mic. We're obviously here to just have an open discussion, and you can ask your questions as well. So for people who went in the panel discussion just now, Enda, please can you just introduce yourself and also a bit about the company too?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Great to see you all. My name is Enda Breslin. I'm the general manager for ShipBob in Europe. ShipBob is a technology-enabled logistics company. What we do is we provide multiple warehouse locations around the world so that small, medium businesses can fulfill their goods as close to the consumer as possible. And we take a very technology driven approach to this, where we have a vertically integrated stack of order management, warehouse management, and transportation management, integrating to all of the front ends out there you would need to use, from Shopify, Magento, BigCommerce, the usual culprits, to marketplaces. So, yeah, quite a mouthful there. Really excited to be on this breakout session. Looking forward to some really cool questions, and go easy on me.
Absolutely, we will do. And I've definitely got some questions for you as well. So I look forward to hearing those answers. And you'll see that some people are coming in and out of the sessions just because if they want to answer questions through each of the breakout sessions. So just a heads up for you there, Enda. So the first question I actually have for you is I know a lot of businesses will probably be thinking, why do I need to outsource my fulfillment? Is it going to be better for my business? So when does it make sense to outsource fulfillment versus perhaps a merchant doing it on their own?
Yeah, probably if you are getting that feeling that you're packing parcels in the evening time, it's probably not a good sign. That's number one. The other sign is when you're really not catching up with what you want to be doing and driving the front end of the business. Picking and packing and sending parcels out the door, it's not exactly rocket science, but it's also something that has to be done really, really, really well. It's a very working logistics is a lot of third parties involved, lots of carriers involved, lots of things which can go wrong. So having that outsourced will give you ease of mind. But I always bring it back to opportunity loss. If you had 3 or 4 more hours in your day, or 5 or 6 more hours in your day, could you be investing that in product development, in marketing, in building loyalty, in doing something else in the business. Whereas the picking and packing, leave that to people who are doing that on a regular basis. So it's for me, it comes back to opportunity loss. And do you really need to be doing such a task, or should you be working on the loyalty of your business?
Yeah, absolutely. I know that probably quite a lot of people will resonate with you in terms of time. There never seems to be enough hours in the day to get everything done. So yeah, that definitely makes sense in terms of outsourcing a piece of that and passing over kind of the baton to some experts to do it would definitely make sense. So because there's obviously so many channels and brands to sell across today, such as obviously direct social media, retailer marketplaces such as Amazon, what advice can you give for brands looking to increase their reach further afield?
Experiment, try things. If you look at retail has always been sales have always been transacted across multiple channels, always has been for hundreds of years. And in this digital world, it's pretty much the same thing. So you should be transacting and trying new sales channels, try marketplaces, try new geographies, try try using Amazon. It's totally legit as well to use that. So you'll only really find out if peers in the industry will tell you you should try selling on eBay or something. You should try this, but you won't really know what your conversion's like, and you won't really know what that consumer is like, and you won't really know what your returns are like until you actually try it out. Fortunately, the technology today has become so easy to use, and you have access to global fulfillment with ShipBob, for example. Getting access to global fulfillment, if you were a smaller player, if you were an SMB, small medium business, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even 2 years ago, that was a very expensive proposition to have your stock located around the world and do fulfillment. So now, with ShipBob, you can put your stock in various locations around the world and try out the Australian market, try out the US market. It's not capital intensive. It can be done pretty easy. And because you're fulfilling from the local market, you're actually competing with the locals as well. So you're competing on their terms of next day delivery and low cost delivery, etc. And then you'll find out if it's going to work for you, if your audience in that market really likes your product. So we kind of promote try as many channels as possible. Some of them are going to stick, some of them are not going to stick. But if you don't try it, you'll never know.
That's a really great kind of answer. And in terms of kind of those different channels and obviously the work that you've been doing, have you got a specific case study or a success story that has stood out in terms of someone that's come to you for assistance with that?
Yeah, I mean, quite a few. We got Backclaw is a great example of a nice product where it's a pretty cool product. Check it out. You can scratch your back with it and do different things with it. But it's a cool thing. But they got into pretty early global distribution, placing their stock with us around the world, putting in different fulfillment centers. So all of a sudden, by putting their stock into the US merchant, by putting their stock into UK, for example, or Australia, they were able to compete with the locals and have next day delivery and have low cost delivery, have pretty much Amazon-like services in terms of delivery. And that way they really found out if they could be competitive. And yes, sure enough, their conversion rates went up. I'm not at liberty to say how they went up, but their conversion rates did go up. There was a market, it was very sticky, and they've been operating very successfully in those markets. The flip side of the coin, Hannah, is if you don't try to compete on a local basis, if you put yourself at a disadvantage, for example, shipping from the US into Europe, you got 7 or 8 days delivery time. People got to pay duty sometimes. You're never really going to know if you can be successful, if you can compete. You may actually be falsely disillusioned by the results. You may actually say, well, my conversion rate wasn't great, hence the UK market doesn't like my product. Well, it's kind of wrong. It's because you never give them a chance to want to like your product because it was too expensive, too slow getting there. So that's what we recommend.
Yeah, I can definitely kind of see where you're coming from in terms of if they're comparing a product, your product might be great, but they might need it by a certain time. If the delivery is going to be over a week, then especially with this day and age, that is quite a long time for the consumer to wait. And also just touching on kind of other businesses such as Amazon, and obviously they now provide a 1-day Prime delivery promise that they do. What are other ways to compete other than delivery time? Like, what are other things that you recommend that are kind of, or merchants or brands implement within their shipping process?
Yeah, so for those who may have missed the previous session to this, we went into some details on keeping your customer informed throughout the whole shipping process, making sure that they are not in the dark. If you take a step back here, if you look at the main reason why people do not buy with you, one of the top reasons always come out as being you didn't have free shipping, it was too expensive, or it was too slow, or there was something going on with the shipping. It's one of the main reasons why you have a drop off in conversion rates. So getting that right is actually is first of all is key. But then once you have them, once they do go through the shipping process, it's a very anxious process, especially somebody who's buying with you for the first time. They don't know you, they don't know who you are. So anything you can be doing to let them know the product shipped out, send them an SMS, let them know when they're going to receive it, let them know a tracking number, let them know, follow up with them afterwards if they enjoyed the experience. So anything you can be doing during any period of the sales process, which is going to create anxiety, and we all know which parts of those processes are. Keep them informed, stay in touch with them, and that's the best way to make sure they have a good experience and will convert into a second purchase because it was an anxiety-free process the first time around.
Definitely. Like I mentioned in the panel discussion, I know when something hasn't arrived and it's meant to, I do start to worry and think, what if it's been delivered to the wrong place? Or what if, I don't know, someone's stolen my parcel? You just never know. So yeah, definitely with status updates, it's super important. And in terms of the product itself, is there anything that they could include, like such as like a special delivery note and things like that? Is that anything that you've seen brands do before?
Absolutely. So there's so many things you can be doing just to make that unboxing experience better. Just dropping in a little gift note into the box, just showing your appreciation and saying, thank you, either from the person who's giving you the gift or even from the brand themselves. So dropping in a little thank you note, especially if it comes across as being handwritten, and there's some nice technologies out there that will do that, or go the extra mile, actually handwrite it. The custom packaging, we offer custom packaging, we do inserts, so we do whatever needs to be done to make sure that famous unboxing experience just shows that you went the extra mile, throwing candy into the box, giving a free gift, a free sample, putting something special into the box. So we can support all of these things to make that unboxing experience just really special, so you feel as if you're absolutely unique and not just an order number.
Yeah, definitely. Has there been like an example or a specific case where during the COVID pandemic where you've seen kind of a merchant add something in that you've perhaps never thought of? Like, for example, I had one that had like a hand sanitizer in. Have you seen anything kind of quirky that you've thought, oh wow, that's a really kind of inventive idea?
It's not quirky because unfortunately we've all gotten used to the pandemic, but the first
Yeah,
time
it's
people
true.
received face masks was also
Okay.
kind of an aha moment. Putting face masks and hand sanitizers into the box is it's played out a little bit, but it's actually very thoughtful when you think about it. You're interested, you're going a step further, you're interested in your customer's well-being. So that was actually one that played out pretty well. It's done quite a lot, but putting a face mask or putting a hand sanitizer into the box is a great one. I heard of some merchants, I can't remember the names right now, but offering just discounts as well, because a lot of people were furloughed during that time as well. And they've lost income, etc. And I've heard of examples of reaching out and saying, we know these are difficult times. Here's a gift voucher off your next purchase. So really kind of driving campaigns around the fact that these are hard times for you. You were always with us in the past. We're with you now. Here's a rather hefty discount on your next purchase.
Yeah, amazing. And obviously incentivizing to purchase it again, but yeah, recognition of your customer base and their loyalty is great. Amazing. So we do have some questions in the chat. So let's go to the first one. So I'd love to hear your perspective on how to mitigate all the shipping and fulfillment challenges that came about in 2021.
Yeah. you can't really fight against. It's hard to fight against such a macro change in the industry. We're in a fortunate position in the world that ShipBob operates in, where we work with a lot of SMBs. And because of that, it puts us in a position to act very nimbly as well. SMB, small medium business, they tend to react very quickly, and we tend to react very quickly with them as well. What we were able to do was we set up a product, just reacted very quickly, set up a product called FreightBob. In ShipBob, every product has Bob at the end. It's really cool. So we set up this really fast supply chain delivery service called FreightBob. Traditionally coming in from China, a boat is going to take, whatever it is, about 4 weeks from the Pacific or into the West Coast in the US. We got that down to about 16 or so days, I think it was, by using smaller ships, not the large container ships, but by using services where we could use small ships. And we almost halved, and going into non-congested ports. Obviously, Los Angeles was quite congested. We went into smaller ports as well. So we took the initiative to think, well, wait a second, our clients are kind of small. They don't need to take, all of them don't need to take up 40-foot containers. We can get a lot of goods onto small boats. They go twice as fast. We bring them into non-congested ports, and we unload them ourselves pretty quickly and bring them back into our fulfillment center. So FreightBob was a huge success for us, where we were able to avoid congested ports and really react to what was going on in the industry. The second thing I would add as well is that air freight is expensive, but to get around all this congestion, many of our merchants actually think, well, the only way to do it is bringing it in by ship. Actually bringing it in by air, because quite a few merchants don't really have that much quantity. And if you do the math on bringing stuff in by air, it's only going to take 48 hours from China to bring it in into most areas. And it's not as expensive as people think. So think outside the box. So we provide a service with FreightBob, a sea service to get goods in, but also just think about the size of your business, and does it really have to go by sea? Maybe I'm willing to pay a little bit more for it to go by air, and never be in that out of stock situation, because I think we all agree that horrible out of stock banner on the product page is the worst thing you can have in a business.
Oh, 100%. That's really interesting, actually, about air, and definitely something that I had never thought about either, because obviously you think mainly shipping is the way to go, but yeah, air freight as well. Yeah, really good point there. I guess the beauty with working with ShipBob is obviously they have all of the up-to-date kind of knowledge in terms of like ports and things like that and congestion. So that's great to hear. We do have another question. So it says, how can I reduce shipping time for my customers without spending too much?
Great question. Moving the stock closer to where the consumer actually is, and obviously everyone's situation is different, but it's not as, again, I mentioned in a previous session as well, is that 5-10 years ago, positioning your stock around the world was something really only large enterprises would do, because they've got transportation departments and trade specialists and compliance specialists who can think these things through. But these days, thanks to us, shameless plug here, thanks to ShipBob, you can actually move your stock, put stock into 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 fulfillment centers around the world pretty easily. We'll help you move that the goods across the border, make it seamless for you. So, and the math actually works out pretty well. If you were to ship from US into Europe, shipping is about $20-$25. If you're shipping locally from UK to UK, shipping goes down to about $3 or $4. You're going to increase your conversion rate, and your customers are going to love you for that. So it's easier, to sum it up, it's kind of easier these days than most people think to actually take your stock and position it in the local country, in the local continent, and have those savings. Then those savings then will allow you to compete with the locals, compete with local incumbents, but also pass some of those savings onto your end consumer as well. So it's easier than you think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I've got a question as well. So in terms of, I know some companies might not be able to be in the position of moving their stock to where their consumer is. So do you think it's a good idea on perhaps websites that the merchant makes it well known that the item may perhaps be coming from Australia or perhaps the US, and then if I'm in the UK, do you think that's definitely something that they should be including within the information in the delivery section?
Yeah, transparency is really key. I think customers actually will go looking for as much information. They're very well informed these days, and they will go looking for information. And if you're upfront and transparent about that, the better. If your customers are interested in sustainability, then tell them about sustainability and tell them what goes into your products, etc. But also be clear, just be super duper clear about where the goods are coming from, how long it's going to take, why that's going to be as well. And it can work in your favor. I think buying British is a banner which the Chinese market loves. They love buying authentic things. So really works in your favor if you play up the whole British thing when you're marketing to Chinese consumers. There's different variations of that around the world depending on which sector you're in. So be super transparent about where the goods are coming from. Explain it. Also, there are easy ways to make that experience just seamless as well. Offering duty paid. So charging up front, charging for the duty up front, so when the parcel does arrive from a different continent, nobody has to pay money on the doorstep or go to the post office to pay for it. So even if you are going intercontinental with the parcels, it can work in your favor, but just be really transparent about, the reason it's taking you so long is because we're shipping it from here. Thanks to your loyalty, we're growing fast, and maybe one day we'll be able to ship locally to you from the UK. So recommend us. Thanks for your loyalty. Turn it into your advantage. Be very open about what's going on. You can turn it into your advantage.
Yeah, I love that. I remember recently before Christmas, I purchased an item from an Australian brand, and I hadn't realised that it was coming from Australia, but they kind of paid all the shipping costs and things like that. And it was a relief because I was a little bit concerned that they were going to be charging me for that on top of my item already. So that is a really good point, and definitely something that merchants should consider as well. We have just got a few more questions in the chat. So we've got another one similar to what we've already discussed. So someone may have hopped in before, but it says, how can the unboxing experience build my customers' loyalty? I'm struggling to get customers to come back after the first purchase, and I think a cool unboxing experience will be the way to go.
Absolutely. Just look at the success of unboxing channels on YouTube. I think we all know unboxing is really key. It's really key as well before you even get to the unboxing or even after the unboxing. If you can get customers to even share what they bought online. Again, in the previous session, we talked about social affirmation and telling your peers what you bought online. So just before and after the unboxing experience, give them the ability to be able to click that share button and say, hey, I just bought this online. It was just delivered. Can't wait to open it, or afterwards share that. So, but on the unboxing experience in particular, so many things you can do there to introduce your customers to new products that you have, new perfumes, whatever else you're selling online. You can introduce them to a new product. If you look at the cost of putting an insert into the box, or putting a sample into the box, or an insert or something else into the box, it really, and then you compare it against the cost of acquisition of your first client, it's really diminutive. It's really quite a small effort, but it really goes a long way to help with the experience and make them feel loved. As we mentioned before, drop in a little handwritten note into the box as well. And again, any giveaways you can give to put into the box, introduce them to new services, get them to recommend a friend as well. So there's just so many things. It's the only contact you have with the customer these days, unless you're in physical retail. It's the only contact you have with the customer. So why not just go all out to make that first unboxing experience really special?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And have you found any kind of merchants changing their packages because of this? Because obviously you can add inserts and things. I know when you have like a new MacBook or something, the box is made so that it opens very slowly. So have you had any kind of changes in terms of merchants changing their packages because of the recommendations that you give?
Yeah, I mean, we offer, we're pretty unique. We're one of the few ones who offer totally custom packaging. So many of our customers will switch from standard, we offer also standard brown boxes and inserts as well. But many of our customers take us up on the offer to create custom packaging to make that experience even better. And the cost delta is not that much of a delta. It's actually surprisingly positive as well. And it really helps with the unboxing experience. More so than the unboxing experience is also the unsolicited unboxing experience. So what you see merchants such as Cezanne and others doing is they'll send you a gift out of the blue because you haven't bought anything this past 6 months. So they'll just send you a tote bag or send you something on
Oh,
your birthday.
wow.
Out of the blue on your birthday, they'll send you something that's unsolicited. It's totally charming. It's totally nice, and it's not going to cost them. Obviously, it's calculated into the price, and we don't work with them for full disclosure. It's just something that's a third-party reference. But it's getting that, having the unboxing experience when an unboxing experience wasn't even called for, can be a really aha moment if you get that nice little gift on your birthday from a merchant you'd engaged with in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. I've actually never heard of that before, but I really love the idea of actually sending a physical item to someone. I know that we offer like points for birthday and things like that, but actual physical item is definitely something that I think would really make you stand out as a brand as well. So yeah, that's a really nice, fresh idea there. So we're nearly finished, but I have one final question for you before we wrap up, and that is, what is the number one thing? So if you had to pick anything, what's the number one thing to do from a shipping perspective to boost engagement with customers?
This is going to sound boring. It's just get it right and make sure you do what you're going to say you're going to do. If you say you're going to deliver it next day, just make sure you get the brilliant basics right. Make sure it actually happens. So there's no real. There are shiny objects out there. We talked about some of the unboxing things, but there's nothing which delights a customer more than getting the product shipped out the same day, having it delivered next day with a carrier which they like. People have preferences in which carriers show up on a doorstep as well. So let them select a carrier which they actually have a good relationship with. So it really goes back to what made Amazon big is, it's just getting the brilliant basics right. So we offer Amazon-like services. We really have high SLAs. We just nail the brilliant basics, and that is going to delight a customer more than any shiny object or new thing that's out there. So maybe not the high note to finish up on here, but it's really, if you don't get the basics right, you're not going to get that repeat customer.
No, I absolutely love that response, and I think get your bread and butter right in terms of kind of shipping and delivery, and the rest will follow. So yeah, thank you so much for your contribution to the panel discussion and this breakout session as well. Your insights have been really, really interesting. And where can people reach you if they've got any questions following on from this?
ShipBob is obviously at shipbob.com. I'm on LinkedIn quite a lot. It's LinkedIn/Enda Breslin. I'm on LinkedIn every day, so I'd love to catch up with you there.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Enda, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day.
Thanks so much for the invitation. Thanks for great questions, everyone, and happy hunting.
Thank you so much. If everyone heads back to the main stage, you'll see the next discussion there. Bye.